Okay lang, go lang.
Well, first of all, thank you for your time, Bella. Gusto ko
Thank
lang
you.
sana mag-catch up with you kasama ng mga fans mo. Nasa ka, ulitin lang natin, nasa ka bang parte ng mundo? Anong ginagawa mo dyan
Yes.
ngayon? At saan ka based?
Yes. So right now naka-base pa rin ako sa London, but I'm in Dubai at the moment. I'm attending the Binance blockchain event. So Binance Filipino flew me in and with other artists. So we're here for a few days to attend several events. So yeah.
Wait, bago natin puntahan ang iyong bonggang-bonggang proyekto, no, na directed,
Yes.
written, and starred by you. Teka lang,
Thank you.
Binance. So ano to, you're into crypto and
I'm
NFT?
starting.
Okay,
I'm
okay. And
start.
then,
I'm trying to learn.
oh,
Oh, actually, I started dabbling maybe like a few years, like say like 2 years ago. But usually, I guess I invest on or I bet on currencies that my friends tell me are good or that my friends tell me seem viable. So parang sumasabay ako sa mga friends ko na matagal nang nagta-trade ng crypto. So I want to learn how to do it by myself lang. Yung talaga ma-predict ko na which trends are better and which cryptocurrencies are better. Pero wala pa ako sa stage na yun.
so wala ka pang naipundar na bahay dahil sa crypto, mga ganyan? Or
Wala pa naman, wala pa
anong
naman.
investment mo na solid sa crypto? Meron na ba?
Um, I'd say there are here and there. Pero yun nga, sumasabay kasi ako sa mga ibang nagtitrade. So, yun.
Wala pa notable,
Ano
kumbaga,
naman?
na worth sharing. Wala pa. Kumbaga,
Wala
nag-aano.
pa naman. Hindi pa pambili ng bahay. Wala pa.
Pero seryoso yung seryoso yun. Nasa event ka mismo at ikaw ang tinap ng Binance. I mean, that
Yeah.
wallet is very much trusted by people all
Yes,
over.
it's a huge community, and also ang saya ng event kasi they really flew in a lot of I guess influencers who are interested or who have been trading cryptocurrencies from all over the world. So yesterday was the welcome event. So ang dami talaga, like my influencers from Italy, from Brazil, from Taiwan, from the States, and but it was just so nice to see how I guess digital currency is really evolving. Because as much as as much as we're I guess in denial, I think this is really becoming the future of of currency and of business and investing and everything. So it's nice to I guess get on it and to learn early. So yeah.
Besides this, puntahan naman natin yung proyekto mo, di ba?
Thank
Kailan mo
you.
ito ginawa, sinulat, paano mo ito sinulat, paano to naipanganak?
Yes. Actually, paano ba? Inumpisahan ko siyang isulat noong 2018. Nagbakasyon ako, pumunta kami ng friend ko na si Vera, pumunta kami sa Maldives noong 2018 ng November. Tapos ito yung sunod-sunod na may mga stories about couples and families who sadly passed away in Maldives. And yung parang nagsunod-sunod yun maraming tragedies sa Maldives, tapos nabalita din siya sa atin. Nandun kami nung mga time na yun, nung around November. And while we were there, basically, something was happening in a different island to a Filipino couple. And the staff of the resort I was staying at, which was quite far, kinukwento lang nila sa amin yung mga nangyayari. And it was so intense. And it was so heavy na hindi ko siya makalimutan. Like, pag uwi ko ng Pilipinas, nagme-message ako dun sa travel agent na nag-book ng flights namin and everything. I kept asking like, okay lang ba siya, ganyan-ganyan. And I would get updates na parang days and days after, nandun pa rin siya sa Maldives. Like, ayaw niyang umalis. So, I can't tell you the gist of what happened kasi masaspoil ko yung movie. But basically, yun nga, when I went home, I was so bothered. Ang una kong kinausap si Direct Dan. Kasi nagtitaping kami ng Sinong May Sala. Like, mag-uumpisa kami mag-taping ng Sinong May Sala. So, kinato kay Direct Dan yung nangyari. Sabi niya, na-visualize niya na as a movie yung concept. But more important than the tragedy, I guess, we are always scared to discuss or scared to talk about what it's really like to live after something bad happens to you, especially in a country like the Philippines. I think people expect, especially of women, when something happens to you, you have to move on, you have to feel better, you have to get up the next day, go to work. Alam mo yun, yung parang so much is expected of us in our society in the Philippines as Filipino women, na we have to be so strong. So I wanted to create a movie that kind of explains to people that there are different stages, and that moving on isn't like a one formula thing for everyone. So yun, that's how it all started. And then I kind of just wrote it here and there kasi ngayon I was doing Sino May Sala, I eventually did Manyanita and On Vodka, Beers and Regrets. So medyo na-busy ako nung 2019. Nung 2020 na early 2020, pinitch ko kila Boss Vic yung story and they wanted to shoot it na. I pitched this first to a different company, but eventually everything fell through. So I pitched it to Viva, and I'm so happy that they said yes to it right away, and that they were so ready to shoot. Tapos nag-pandemic. So para siyang project na ayaw matuloy-tuloy. And paano ba? During the pandemic, I obviously, like everyone else, we were all kind of holding on to each other. And I kept thinking of like, paano yung lagi kong mga nakakatrabaho? Kasi, di ba, pag nagtitaping ka or pag nagsushooting ka, yung mga cameraman, parang kuya mo na, yung mga stylist, yan yung mga best friend mo sa set eh. Yan yung kausap mo kasi sila yung nakikita mo araw-araw. Kahit minsan nagpapalit na ng artista, yung staff, sila pa rin yung kasama mo. Kahit malipat ka ng unit, yung staff yun pa rin. So I was thinking, paano kaya yun? Yun yung mga lagi kong nakakatrabaho. Parang paano sila nagsusurvive ngayong pandemic? Eh nung time na yun, wala masyadong naglalabas ng movies. Parang actually, wala talaga nagsushoot. I think there were only like 2 productions like that were shooting nung time na yun. So we were discussing with sila Boss Vic na parang, is it possible? Like, can we try to shoot during the pandemic? I think at that point, Viva was producing 1 film. Pero eto yung kasagsagan ng hindi pa alam kung paano yung taping bubble, like ano bang protocols yung dapat sundin, like everything was still super strict. So we risked it. We really said, sige, gawin natin. I gathered, I guess, all my friends in the industry and people I really love working with. Naalala ko magpapasko yun eh. So naisip ko, at least meron man lang mga pang Noche Buena yung mga tao sa Pasko.
Oh.
And so we started shooting, doing pre-production December of 2020. And then we shot the movie in the Philippines, January 2021, and in Turkey, March 2021. So everything, ang hirap-hirap gumawa ng pelikula, I think, lalo na yung mga pre-prod days, yung talagang sinestretch out mo talaga lahat, yung patience mo, yung understanding mo of everything. But once na nasa set na kayo and once na nag-start na, parang ang bilis masyado ng oras na mamimiss mo naman after. So yun, we shot everything in 2021.
Wow. So, in first part, 2021, di ba? Pero ito, kaya ba si Zanjo tsaka si JC ang iyong napisil na makasama rito is because, of course, reliable, very talented friends in the industry?
Alam naman natin na parehas silang talagang maaasahan, lalo na pagdating sa acting. Alam natin na itong dalawang to, especially dahil first time ko mag-direct, I needed actors who I was confident in, na alam kong talagang kahit anong paggawa mo, kayang i-pull off. Also at the same time, to be technical about it, JC and Zanjo both had contracts with Viva. So I wrote it, I directed it, but I had no say kung sino yung i-hire at the end of the day. So wala akong ganong power sa Viva. So I suggested, they asked me kung sino yung mga gusto kong makatrabaho on this. Initially, ayoko nga sana na ako yung babae in this. Like I really wanted to direct it, like be behind I guess the scenes.
Pero parang ang ganda nung ano sa'yo, no? Forma ng Viva, tsaka yung confidence sa'yo to push you.
Thank you.
Because I understand that,
Yes.
right? Like, dude, I wanna focus on directing. This is my debut.
Yeah, true.
And then parang, my gosh, acting din ako. So how was it like?
My gosh, nakakaloka, MJ. As in, minsan feeling ko, para kang kailangan meron kang on and off button. Tas nakakatawa kasi yung unang araw ng shooting namin, ang unang eksena si Sanjo lang, hindi pa ako kasali. Pero minake-upan na rin ako kasi the next few scenes kasali na ako. Nagde-direct ako, may rollers ako sa bangs para pagdating ng eksena ko, ready na yung bangs ko. Um, Tapos sa sobrang kaba ko, siguro dahil siyempre 'pag artista ka sa set, 'di ba, once na pinuwesto ka na and once na nakikita mo na nakapuwesto na yung camera and everything, nagzo-zone out ka na, eh, kasi nagpe-prepare ka na to enter the scene. So really, all you hear is action. Hindi mo naririnig yung mga sinasabi nila before that. I don't know if it's just me or if everyone goes through this, pero ako personally, I zone out kasi I really try to get into character before my director screams, "Action." So, nakalimutan ko or baka dahil hindi na rin ako kasi nagshoo-shooting nung umpisa ng pandemic, nakalimutan ko na 'pag pelikula hindi basta-basta action yung sinisigaw. Sisigaw ka muna ng sound tsaka camera para mag-roll yung audio tsaka mag-roll yung camera. I totally forgot. So, 'pag upo ko nakita ko nakapuwesto na si Sanjo, napapanood ko na sa monitor, sumigaw lang ako ng action. Ta's tinignan ako ng audio man tsaka nung DOP ko si Pao Orende, tinignan nila ako na, "Paanong action hindi pa kami nagro-roll?" So yun,
Okay lang
feeling ko
yun. Kasi
sobrang kaba
first,
din.
oo, first of ano, 'di ba? First of many mo ito, 'di ba? But I'm sure you
True.
did a great job for Viva and
Thank you.
everyone else to talk about it, di ba? Na hindi pa siya umiere. And I mean,
Thank
imagine
you.
mo, pati promotion, ikaw din yung toka kasi ikaw din nagsulat. Nakakaloka.
Totoo, totoo.
Buti hindi ko yung nag-edit
Y
o inupuan mo yung edit.
umupo ako sa editing room, pati sa dubbing, lahat ng proseso nung nagdu-dub si JC, nagdu-dub si Sancho, nakaupo din ako sa dubbing room para may guide sila or kung may questions sila like anong boses or anong tono yung gusto mo dito, ganyan. Na at least nandun ako, hindi hindi nila masasabi na parang ako nilang gumawa or parang ako na nagdesisyon. So, sinamahan ko everyone at every step of the way. Like, one of the things na I guess hindi ko na-appreciate dati nung nagsusulat lang ako or artista lang ako sa isang project was post-production. Kasi yun pala yung mabusisi. As in, every day umuupo kami sa editing room. Per second namin pinapanood yung movie na parang pwede bang tanggalin tong second na to? And imagine you shot 20 days worth of film from morning to night. Tapos kailangan mo siya i-compress to 1.5 hours. Parang nababaliw na ako kakapanood. Honestly, kanina pinanood ko pa siya one more time kasi meron naman kaming meeting sa sound design bukas. So parang pang 5,000 na beses ko nang napanood tong 366 like
Ah, o sige, so
kung
sa
saan-saan.
pang 5,000 mong beses sa panood nito, anong naramdaman mo that time around na ganyan kadaming beses mo napanood yung obra mo?
Um, Paano ba? Medyo OC kasi akong artista. So kahit dati naman, kahit hindi ako yung nag-direct, nagme-message ako lalo na kung ka-close ko yung director, like kunwari Direk Irene, lagi ko nakakatrabaho si Direk Irene. She's very gracious na 'pag gumagawa kami ng movie together, pumapayag siya na umupo ako sa editing room to watch the whole movie. She's that kind of director. Kaya I tried to extend that courtesy also to my actors now here in 366. I asked JC and I asked Sanjo if they wanted to watch the movie bago lumabas sa premiere. Kasi baka meron silang input, baka may idea sila, baka meron silang eksena na na-edit out and
Yun daw
nafi-feel nila na
prefer sa
hindi,
ano.
sobrang ganda 'tong eksenang 'to, wag mong tanggalin. Alam mo yun, like I wanted to give them that option. So even before I started directing, I was really quite OC with my work. But what I love about it is no matter how many times I watch my films, I still get very affected. So
Oo.
parang kahapon pinanood ko siya kanina pinanood ko siya ng isa pang pass ulit. May isang eksena na ang ganda-ganda nung lagay ni Kian Cipriano ng scoring na kinikilig talaga ako every time nakikita ko yun. And meron siyang linagay na scoring towards the end na talagang hindi pa nag-uumpisa yung eksena, maiiyak ka na kasi ang ganda-ganda ng music. So, I'm happy because I guess I'm the kind of person, yun nga, I'm very easily affected by films, by TV shows, by music. So, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So kahit na minsan nakaupo ako like last month wifi lang ako sa isang cafe kasi may bagong sinend si Kian na version. Kahit na kung saan man ako mapadpad and kung nanonood man ako sa isang cafe, sa bahay ko, sa train, kung hindi man sa proper editing room, I feel like I'm still going through the experience like it's the first time every time. And so
Aw,
I love it so much.
wow. And I'm sure you'll be the first of many. Pero kakamusta lang kita ng kaunti. Kamusta yung buhay mo sa
Yes,
London? 'Di ba? Ano ba,
okay
are you
naman.
trying to also build a career there or
Mhm,
that's the base na ba? What's gonna happen?
yeah. Actually, no, I'm not trying to build a career anywhere at the moment. Because I still have, I feel, a career in the Philippines, and I still have a contract, of course, with
Pursue.
Viva. Oh, in fact, after lumabas ng 366, we're set to start a new film again, which again I'm writing, directing, and acting in.
Wow!
Um,
May follow-up
parang
pa pala.
nasanay na yung Viva. Sabi ng Viva, kaya mo naman, so yan na, ikaw na lagi gumawa niyan. So we're shooting that around June, July in London. So pumayag sila na mag-shoot ako sa London, which is amazing. I'm so blessed with the bosses I have. They're very kind. But yeah, it's just my base because honestly, I think during the pandemic, I really realized na um you have to start taking control of your narrative. Like I didn't like the idea na obviously it was a global pandemic and obviously a lot of people were also suffering, and if not suffering more. But I saw the difference kasi na in other countries, kids were already going back to school, people were out, people were swimming. Yung parang they were living a normal life again. And um parang I wanted that for myself. Also, if anything, I think the pandemic taught me na the world is so small. Parang everything is so accessible pala talaga. And yun nga, if you want to do something, if you really want to do something, you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Like now I write my scripts at home, I send it to Viva and they tell me, okay, let's do this, let's do that. We can do pre-prod online. I mean, nung pandemic naman, hindi talaga kami makapag pre-prod ng face-to-face, so lagi lang kaming Zoom. And yet we were able to pull off a movie that I'm actually proud of and that I really love. So I feel like it doesn't matter where I am in the world. If I'm producing the content I want to produce, and if I'm producing it with the people I trust, like Viva Films, then, parang it's easy naman.
And boboto ka ba ngayon this election or hindi?
Actually, hindi ako bumoboto kasi I'm a Jehovah's Witness. So, hindi kami we're very neutral.
Pala
Mhm.
yun? Oo, wait, so Jehovah meron ka bang ano, pagka gano'n, 'pag Jehovah's, meron ka bang parang mga, ah, ano ba, censorship sa mga eksena? Paano mo pala
Oo,
binabalance?
lalo na dati, lalo na nung nag-uumpisa ako nung bata pa ako, kasi I
Oo,
really grew up in this, eh. Nung pinanganak ako, yung mommy
Jehovah's
ko
ka na?
Jehovah's Witness na.
Oo.
So, as in naka-diapers ako dinadala ako sa Kingdom Hall, and then I eventually got baptized when I was 15 years old. Nagpa-preach ako dati every day. So this was my pre-artista life, as in kumakatok kami from house to house, like to give brochures and
Kumatok ka from house to
yes.
house, okey, o tapos?
Oo, na-experience ko lahat 'yun. But sadly, I'm not as active
Active.
as I was when I was a kid kasi, paano ba, yung first foray ko into, I guess, nag-house to house kami na artista na ako, parang na-feel bad ako kasi I feel like imbis na mag-focus kami dun sa word that you're trying to share and the knowledge you're trying to share, nagpapa-picture yung mga bahay kung saan ako
Oo.
nagpapa-picture yung mga tao kung saan kami kumakatok. So, um, parang I personally felt like I didn't feel comfortable with that. Kasi nga you're there with a purpose, eh, 'di ba? You're offering Bible studies, you're trying to give people hope with the word of God, tapos nade-distract sila. So, I took myself out of that situation. So I'm not as active as I used to be, but I'm still very much present and I still really really believe in the word of God. If anything, yun lang halos nagsisave sa atin lalo na ngayong ang sasama ng panahon, 'di ba? Dahil ang dami natin pinagdadaanan sa mundo. So kailangan talaga natin ng faith. But what do you call this? Nung una, oo, nung mga kasi nag-umpisa ako mag-artista 16 years old ako. So binabasa pa ng mommy ko yung mga scripts ko.
Oh,
Um, Ganong level, oo. Tapos may mga eksena na yun 'pag medyo may konting questionable scenes, I beg off. Like marami akong mga eksena na dapat may parang eksena ng blood transfusion and stuff like that.
hindi
I
puwede.
inform Oo, hindi pwede. So I inform my EP na pasensya na po, because of my faith, I can't show this or I can't do this. But I choose kasi especially now that I'm older, I realize that these people I portray on screen, they're not me. So they're not necessarily Jehovah's Witnesses kung sino yung mga roles ko. Hindi naman sila ako. So ngayon natututunan ko na siyang i-detach. Pero yun, namimili pa rin ako. Like, kaya siguro nasa ganitong edad na ako, hindi ko kayang mag-roles na medyo daring or medyo sexy kasi nahihiya pa rin ako or parang meron siguro akong apprehension because of the faith nga that I grew up in. So it's a balance. Like I've found my sweet spot in the middle of what I can and cannot do.
That's nice. And
Yeah.
congratulations. Super last question. Kumusta yung Brightory?
No problem. Right now we're on hold. Oo, kasi I left. So we're kind of finishing the stocks. Actually, parang naubos na namin yung last stocks that we released. It actually did really well considering in the beginning of the pandemic. Oo, nag-launch pala kami ng skincare line pandemic. We'll see where we pick up kasi hindi ko pa alam ano yun nga kung ano yung mga next steps ko in life.
Galing. Pero I just wanna congratulate you, no? What a
Thank
good
you.
sharing. Thank you for your time. And, yung wisdom lang, no, na hindi ka takot, di ba? Kasi honestly, a lot of things, especially in our country, in a third world country, where women, di ba, like we still need the visas, we still need, alam mo yun, ang daming, ano nga, na sinasabi mo nga, hindi ko deserve yan, di ba? Maghanap ako ng lugar kung saan I can break free. Di ba? Kung saan ko, I can, write in the park or something na hindi ako natatakot.
Exactly.
Kung mamumall ba ako or whatever. Pero
exactly.
I mean, you're one of the bravest, I think, celebrities we do have, actors we do have. Because I'm sure hindi lang ikaw yung gustong magsulat, mag-direct, at mag-start sa sarili ng pelikula.
Yeah.
Ilan lang kayo.
I really wish, honestly, I wish, ang dami ko nakakausap na artista. I mean, maghapon, di ba? Sila yung kasama mo araw-araw. Parang mga kapatid mo na yan eh. Lahat sila may ideas, lahat may concepts. And lahat sinasabi, hindi ako marunong magsulat. But that's not true kasi nakaka-arte ka sa eksena eh. So you know how to visualize and then eventually verbalize what you're feeling. So you can definitely, I guess, kung hindi man magsulat, I think actors are very equipped also to direct kasi they also see the scenes eh. The only difference, I guess, is that pag artista ka, you only think of your character, and I guess the director sees everyone's characters and how they're gonna relate to each other. But I've worked with so many brilliant, smart actors in the last 15 years of my life. I definitely believe there are so many out there that deserve to give themselves a shot. Because it's not the industry that doesn't want to give them a shot. Because I mean, there are people like Boss Vic, there are people like I'm sure Mother Lily or Tita Malu. I'm sure they're all willing to give people a chance. But yun nga you have to say that you want the chance. And ako hopefully I'm really wishing na me doing this constantly will at least not even inspire but just like wake some people up na huy gawin mo na yung gusto mong gawin, lalo na nag-pandemic 2 taon na yung nawala sa atin, parang now is really the time to do what you want to do, and as long as you're doing it the right way.
Amen.
Diba?
Saka hindi lang yun, 2 years yun nawala pero nasa London ka. So sana single girl, diba? Parang
alam mo,
oo, sana wala ako sa city. Yun yung gusto ko eh. Or sana nasa Paris din ako o nasa London din ako.
Alam mo, nakakatawa yan, MJ. Parang feeling ko kasi iniisip ng mga tao, ang dali ng buhay ko. Kasi, syempre, ako rin, personally, ayoko nagpo-post ng negativity sa social media ko. So, kung may pinagdadaanan ako, I'm not on social media for a day. 'Di ba? I post the happy moments, the highlights. Kasi you want to give people something to aspire to. But kung hindi lang nila alam, ang dami ko rin sobrang pinagdadaanan, like to make the first flight, like during the pandemic when we were shooting 366, I had to go to Turkey twice. Grabe, as in yung parang any moment lagi akong pwede mag-breakdown sa gitna ng kalsada kasi ang hirap, and I had to fly to Turkey alone, walang ibang staff na sumama sa akin, ako lang yung lumipad. Tapos nung nag-shoot kami sa Turkey,
Ano hindi
Oo, completely.
nakaka-artista yung ano mo, ginagawa mo kumbaga, talagang literal
Hindi, oo.
oo, sariling
Hirap
kalye.
talaga as in literal literal na pawis and then pagod. Like lumipad ako ng Turkey sa gitna ng panahon na nag-snow, tapos yung buong team ko Turkish, yung crew ko, yung staff ko, yung iba sa kanila hindi marunong mag-English. Pero somehow we were able to pull off the scenes. But alam mo yun, ako lahat nagdala ng props mula sa Manila, ng costumes, lahat ng kailangan gawin, continuity, everything. Parang I think people don't see then I guess the hard work behind the camera, or even just the personal process of going through something hard. And yan yung isa sa mga bagay na bilib ako sa atin sa mga Pinoy. Pag merong challenge or pag may mahirap na kailangan gawin in front of you, ginagawa lang natin. Tapos hindi na nalalaman ng ibang tao. Yung parang, okay, kaya ko naman eh, di kakalad ka rin ko yung props. Alam mo yun, buhatin ko lahat. Pero mahirap, pero gagawin ko. A lot of us go through that daily ng without complaint and without feeling bad or without saying anything. Um, and I find that beautiful in a sense, but also at the same time, ewan ko, parang I guess I'm at a point in my life that I'm happy to just sit down and appreciate all of those little things na parang okay, I was able to do that, or I overcame this. And hopefully yun nga, like by saying it out loud, I hope someone out there like feels better, or someone out there thinks, you know what, maybe today is the day I do something. So
Ayan,
yun.
ayan. And I'm sure marami kang mai-inspired. Bella, thank you for your time. Para kinain ko na
Thank
ata
you, MJ.
mo, girl. Pasensya na.
Sorry, pasensya na rin.
Hindi, ano ka ba, kung nag-aano, kasi alam ko nakabakasyon ka na, 'no? Kailangan
Hindi.
mag-happy-happy ka rin
Actually, may
diyan.
Zoom ako after nito. Buong araw ako
Oh
nagzo-Zoom
my
for the
God!
366.
Naka-media
Ilang
ano ka,
araw to?
naka-media day. Pero thank
Media
you
day
so
ako.